How much will GTA 6 cost? That is the question everyone seems to be trying to find the answer to. And believe me, I mean everyone. The whole industry seems to be holding back its breath, waiting for an announcement of what the price of GTA 6 is going to be, because of this perceived value that the game will bring to the industry. In an article yesterday, an analyst from Bank of America seems to have a particular opinion, that the rest of the industry would have difficulty selling games for $80 if GTA 6 costs $70. But the real question is, what the different prices GTA 6 could come out with mean for the rest of the industry, but most important, for the players in the future? Because there is no doubt that no matter what Rockstar and Take-Two do with this game, it will shape the industry for years to come. So let's talk about it. But first, before we begin, and you can skip this part, I'm going to leave a timestamp, I want to take a moment to say thank you to every one of you guys that subscribed in the past few days. When I went to bed on Sunday, the channel had 71 subscribers. And by now, it's at 195. Now, that may seem like very little to some people, but, and in the grand scheme of things, maybe it is, but it really means the world to me. Even reaching 100 seemed like a daunting task. And suddenly, I didn't even have time to process it. It just jumped. So all I can say is thank you for everyone that subscribed. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy future videos about the video game industry. Some gameplay here and there. And some nuance. Or at least that's what I try to do. Once again, thank you so much. And let's talk about GTA 6. Okay, so this comes from an article from IGN, although several outlets have spoken about this. Video game industry would have difficulty selling games for $80 if GTA 6 costs $70, Bank of America says. So, an analyst in Bank of America Global Research recently said in a conference that GTA 6 should be $80, which is 10 more than the norm. Now, we've seen opinions of the price all over the place. Last year we had that it could go up to $100, which in my opinion that was pretty much the media and the rest of the industry just lobbying for it. That's why everyone seems to be mentioning the $100 mark. Now, he goes on to say that if GTA 6 were to cost $70, video game companies will no longer be able to get away with charging more than that for their games. All the points being raised have absolutely no consideration for the actual player base that are already struggling with $70. People buy less and less games. IGN goes on into that a $70 price tag on GTA 6 would put pressure on the likes of Nintendo, for example, who charge $80 for Mario Kart World. Now, personally, we're going to be assuming that GTA 6 launches and it is a good game. Okay, it's a good product, it runs well enough, because if GTA 6 is not a good game, that's going to be a whole other kind of worms. The sad truth is, a lot of people would pay 80, 90, even 100. I was surprised with the amount of comments in any publication that mentioned the $100 price, saying that they would be willing to pay for it. There's one thing that this guy who mentions this is not addressing, and no one seems to be going over it. People have this perceived value of GTA 6 based on GTA 5, so everyone seems to think, fairly, honestly, that GTA 6 is going to be just bigger and better in every conceivable way to GTA 5. That's what people think. That's fair to assume. Okay, so people put a lot of value into GTA 6. I am of the opinion that other games from companies that doesn't have that perceived quality in their products, like Ubisoft, EA, Activision, if GTA 6 costs $70, it's not that they will struggle to price their games at $80. They will struggle to price them at $70, because we're gonna get the infinite comparison. Oh, Assassin's Creed Crazy Cat Lady, it's $70. Ah, but GTA 6 is $70. Is this game as good as GTA 6? When the $100 discussion started last year, and I heard it the first few times, I thought realistically, yeah, it could cost $100. That was the scary part. That at the time, I thought, yeah, they could get away with it. So as the article goes, the suggestion here is that Take-Two would be doing the video game industry a favor if it went higher than 70, as if selling GTA 6 at 80 would all of a sudden open the floodgates for all new AAA video games to cost the same. Then they go how they interviewed Strauss Zelnick, which is the CEO of Take-Two. He gives confusing signals, because he says one thing on one interview, then he says another thing on the other interview. It's impossible to know because he doesn't know. They're gonna lock in the price probably a week before they know they have to reveal it. To be fair, they probably know the date they want to reveal the price with a new trailer or something like that. But I bet you they don't know the price. And they must have an army of analysts going full time just trying to figure out what is the best course of action. He went on the value the consumers pay. They pay for the value you bring to them, because he says that they want to bring more value. So, which leads you to believe, okay, so maybe he's leaning towards 70. But then he goes on that how video games have maintained the same price. Remember, Zelnick is the CEO of Take-Two, not of Rockstar. So he has a lot more studios under his belt that may benefit from increase in prices. GTA 6 won't matter. If it costs 70, it will sell even more copies. If it costs 100, it will still sell tens of millions of copies. But it will matter for the rest. Now, what is the potential prices? After the backlash with the Nintendo increase, after that the industry has not wanted to shift to higher prices, although in some areas the prices do increase. If you go to the PlayStation Store in Europe, a lot of places, new first-party titles like God of War Ragnarok or Spider-Man 2 cost 79 euros, not 69. Right? That already happens in some locations, and I'm talking about the standard digital edition. But the industry is struggling because people buy less games, and because they waste money in things like Concord, way to burn $400 million. But the point is, after the whole other companies had not increased the prices because no one wants to be that guy, Nintendo toyed with it, it got a huge backlash, still did it, and still was fine, but they had to come out and clarify, oh no, this is just a few games are gonna be like that because we consider that they have a higher value. Still, it worked, sold a lot, people liked it, people are willing to pay for it. If enough people are willing to pay for it that you end up making more money than if you sold it cheaper, does it really matter that the rest of us won? But after all that, I was convinced that it's not gonna be 100. As of right now, I think there is no way they're gonna go for 100. Now, I believe it's 70 or 80. Realistically, what it's going to be? Well, in my opinion, I think it's gonna be 80. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong. If I had to lean into one or the other, like I'm standing in between both. If I had to go to slightly one side or the other, I would go towards 80. However, I do think Rockstar themselves have more to gain by pricing it at 70. The little cynical part of me would love for it to go to 100, because the entire rest of the industry would just burn behind them. Because they would increase their prices, people will buy less, even less games of them. Plus the $70, it would be nice as a spit on the face of the rest of the industry. And that is what actually leans me towards 80. Because putting GTA 6 at 70, if you look at the bigger picture, would mean that Take-Two is telling the other AAA companies, fuck you. Like I said before, they would even struggle to put it at the same price as GTA 6. Not to mention higher. And it will give the finger to Nintendo even. So that what kind of leans me towards 80, because I don't think Take-Two wants to be that company that says screw you to the rest of the industry. Kind of makes me feel that they're gonna price it at 80, especially after Nintendo already did that with Mario Kart World, so there is precedent for it. Either way, it's a tricky question. And this is a funny one. At the end of the article, they do a poll. How much would you be willing to pay for GTA 6? Sure, it's $50. It's not going to be $50. Now, 70 is 21.9%. Okay. 80 is 14%. 90 is 3%. But 100 is 16%. It's an IGN article. A lot of people probably voted for the sake of it. But I find it hilarious. How much would you be willing to pay? And the second highest percentage, it's 100. And that actually tracks to what I saw with all those publications about the $100 price tag. There were a lot of people in the comments saying they are willing to pay for it because it's GTA 6, how many hours are you going to pay for it? And that brings back the conversation about value. If you're going to pay and be really engaged and really happy and you're going to play this game for 200 hours, is it worth $100? Well, yeah, $100 for 200 hours of content, of engaging, fun content. Of course, a lot of people are going to think that. But is it worth it for any video game? I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't. The problem is, if we start pricing games based on their perceived value or their perceived quality, every company will put the price that they want. We would get rid of the standard pricing. And while it is true, some games are simply worth more than others. Is that really the type of conversation that we want to be having with all games that come out? The standard pricing for AAA games is the standard because it's the quality that is expected from a AAA game. If they forgo that, the next Assassin's Creed is gonna be $100 because Ubisoft thinks it's worth it, and some people will pay for it. I think that is going to a path that we probably don't want. At the end of the day, I do feel right now that it's gonna be 80. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope they just put it at 70, say screw you to everyone else, and we get a good game. I can't believe there is so much discussion around the price of the game when the price should be the standard. And if they want to save up money, they better start being more efficient with their budgets. On the one side, I want the game to be good, the $70 or $80 that it costs. But on the other hand, there is a little part of me that would wish, man, I hope this game was an unmitigated disaster. It would just nuke the industry. If this game fails, I don't even know what could happen to the AAA gaming industry. It's kind of annoying because there is no answer and there is no correct answer. But I always try to look at it from the perspective of the players. And in the long run, it's better for the players that GTA 6 is $70. Because if it doesn't, people will buy it. The other companies will take the wrong lesson from it and they will start pricing their games higher. But don't make the mistake that their quality will increase to match that higher price tag. No, we'll still be getting half-ass games with shit optimization and insane monetization. For the players, there is no gain. All you're gonna have is loss at the end. On the one side, that's for the AAA industry. On the other side, that will push even more indie games, maybe even AA games, to fill in the gap. So, I just want good games. Either way, no matter what Take-Two decides to do, this is gonna shape the industry, for better or for worse. And I think there is better or worse in both sides of the argument, whatever they increase the price or they keep it the same. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. How much would you be willing to pay for GTA 6? Like actually, realistically, assuming it's a good product. And how much you think it should cost, independently of what you will be willing to pay for it. How much you think it should cost? Personally, I think it should cost 70, but let me know what you think. Thank you for watching once again. Thank you to everyone that subscribed. That made me so happy. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.